I made a calendar around sort of February time. My version of a calendar that didn't start on the 1st of January. Instead, it started on the Spring Equinox, so it's around the 21st of March. I kind of like made it quite quickly, and then when it came to getting it printed, there was there was nothing I could do to get this order to like go through. I tried different cards. I tried like jamming my like thumb on the button, like buy print. I was being blocked basically. So I was like, why am I being blocked from doing this calendar? I thought this would be like quite a cool thing. It's just for me, really. Quite an empowering step, I thought, because I'm gonna live like my year in my own way, and I think ancestrally we used to thousands of years ago we used to start the new year in spring and not on the 1st of January. I think it can be quite jarring to people make their New Year's resolutions, don't they? Like, there, tomorrow's going to be the first day of the rest of my life, and it's very jarring when you're in midwinter in that energy. The midwinter energy is very much in hibernation. It's almost like telling someone that they got to wake up in the middle of the night and they got to start their day, and they haven't fully slept yet. You haven't recharged your batteries. You need to like recharge all your batteries in order to wake up fresh. And spring is the seasonal equivalent of that. We wake up fresh, and nature knows what it's doing. Yeah, daffodils come out when mid to late Feb. They're not coming out on the 1st of January. And then later you see the leaves follow. There's more sunlight. Okay, it's all right to come outside again. And yeah, you would never say that nature's first day of the year is on the 1st of January in midwinter. It's all the branches are bare. They're all like sleeping. They've retreated inward. So for humanity to basically run on this sort of misaligned calendar clock is very jarring, and no wonder people don't sort of keep to their New Year's resolution. They're going to go on runs, but it's freezing outside. You're more inclined to go on like more runs or exercise or socialise more when the sun's coming out, when we all feel a bit like happier and go-getting, because that's the energy we're in spring. It's wood. So yeah, anyway, I created this calendar that wasn't like, I didn't start it on the 21st of March as one. I just started it on the 21st of March because I didn't want to be on a different planet, the whole other world, making a point with someone and then we're on like 2 months apart. I did the same dates. I just started it in spring. And I did like 28 months. I had 13 months. I mean, it's more difficult to explain than to show it. But the first 13 months of 28 days in each month, which aligns with the moon. So it's quite a cool calendar. Anyway, couldn't print the thing. And I was like, why am I not meant to print this thing? Usually if you've got a block like that, sometimes you gotta listen. And then like the answer was obvious. It's like, I've never used a calendar before. Why am I going to use a calendar now in terms of like a physical copy of one? And then I realised I was quite rare in the fact that I've never used calendars for anything before. So if I print this calendar now, what's it going to do? And so this is the interesting thing. So this video isn't about a calendar at all. It's actually about memory. So in my line of work now, I'm a photographer and videographer, so I've got the most random and erratic schedule you can ever imagine. It's not like I'm 9 to 5 in the same location 5 days a week. I'm Tuesday 2 p.m. in West London, Saturday 9 a.m. Kent. It's like every single photo shoot is somewhat completely different with someone new at a different time. I don't use any calendar. I don't have one on my computer. I don't have one associated with my emails. I don't do calendar invites. I don't have a physical copy of a calendar. And it's weird because like I've never really thought about it before because it's just how I exist. But there's always like been a part of me that has that mind guilt. It's almost like a teacher's voice. Like probably should start getting a calendar now and like writing things down. And I think I did once. Like when you're in year 7 in school, something maybe on my planner, I'd do like one day and it just couldn't. I couldn't last. I couldn't do 2 days. And we're told you need to plan. So. But I think what's happened with me, because I've never used a calendar before, is that my brain is just my calendar. Now I can see right now my schedule just like I don't know, if I had a Google Glass or or a computer in your mind, I can see it in real time. Exactly what time, where I need to go, what location, and with who, in my head. And I think this is quite rare. But I don't think it's like a special gift at all. I think I'm able to do it so easily because I've always done it. I've like used that part of a muscle of the brain which many of us were told in school not to. Use your calendar, use your diary, use your planner. And then you've outsourced that skill, that ability to another format, essentially. So this it's quite cool that our brains can do that. And if we think of our ancestors, the people who lived thousand years ago, those who lived in tribes in harmony with nature, they'd go on their canoes. Islanders would go on their canoes, and they'd be able to tell know where to go thousands of miles away just through the constellations or even memory. And they could also recall novels and novels worth of stories just by looking at their hand or their brain, because they were exercising that memory part of the brain. Now, the more sort of digital and modern we get, the more we're outsourcing our sort of information storage capacity and the way our brains work and memory onto other devices. So the more we rely on the other devices, in even on the format of a paper calendar, the less likely, why would our brain even bother to turn on its calendar ability if you've got a piece of paper to do it? And now I'm if anyone knows me, I'm never the type of person to ever miss an appointment, and usually I'm half an hour early to everything as well. It's usually the people who use calendars all the time who will like not check the calendar and then they've forgotten where they need to go because it's not in their brain. And so this is my view on calendar. Now, I'm not saying this is like a unique special skill to me. I probably think anyone could do it if they practice, but I think it's easy because I've been doing it for 30 years. So I'm gonna now tell you something I'm really, really bad at in terms of memory. And I'm bad at it precisely because I've outsourced my brain's ability onto my phone, essentially. So I'm really, really bad at recalling the author and title of books. I read avidly, probably finish about three books a week. I'm largely on my phone. So what happens when you're reading books on your phone is you just go onto the text. You don't ever see the title page. Whereas if you're reading lots of hardcover books, every time you pick that book up, you're going to see in big bold letters the author and the title, and that's going to imprint in your brain. You're going to remember that book like far more than if you're just picking up your phone and seeing the text. I don't ever, really see that title page at all. So if I'm ever in conversation with someone, I'm like, oh, I read this and that book. Sometimes you can almost appear a little foolish and stupid because you can't recall the author's name. I literally have to go onto my phone and find a bit I've highlighted or the book author because I just don't know it. And some people, I know people who only read hard copies, and they're really, really good. They'll be like reeling off all these authors' names. I'm like, wow, yeah, I don't even know if I read that one. And then you've got like the intellectuals, typical academics. They're pretty good at knowing their sources as well. But yeah, me, I'm not. And it's not because like I'm stupid in any way. It's not because my brain doesn't work in any way. It's just because I haven't exercised that part of my brain. That's all. So it hasn't really, it's a trophy, doesn't it? This ability to recall authors. It's all stored in my phone, so it's not stored in my brain. I've outsourced it. And this is the way our, minds and brains work. The more we rely on something to store our information for us rather than we're constantly using it. So I'm using my calendar part of my brain. Obviously, it's like a laptop does. It's sort of always there, and then when I click into it, I can see in real time what I need to do, and even when something changes, I can see it change. Just in the way someone could memorize what the title of a book looks like. So none of us are inherently like bad or good or anything in terms of memory. It's just what we give our attention to, what we use our muscle in, just becomes better rehearsed and practiced. That's all. So I think anyone could do the calendar thing, but they just probably prefer to rely on your average calendar. But yeah, I think I was being blocked by printing his calendar, because essentially, if I started using a calendar, my ability for my brain to be its own calendar would atrophy naturally, because I'm not using it like I've been using it for 30 years. So yeah, I'd rather just keep the way I am. I'll stop feeling guilty about not using calendar, because it's worked for me this long. And incidentally, when I used to work in TV on set, one of my main roles would be to sort of keep the schedule going. No, everyone would have a schedule. They'd stuff it in their rucksack, and then no one would no one would really know what they were doing an hour unless they looked at the piece of paper, call sheet. But the easiest and quickest thing anyone could do was go on the comms or come to me face to face and just say what we're doing in and out, and I just know it, because I didn't know the whole schedule in my head. I could just see it. And so that was a really, the ability to have real-time dates and times, what we need to do in my mind, was a really neat skill, I guess, on somewhere like a fast-paced environment like a set. So, it's possible. I just wanted to be an example of that being possible.